check this out. If I was white, right? If I was white, you would not be coming. You would not be coming to me with this shit,
yes,
bro.
I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I would call anybody.
Look, you going viral. You going viral. Listen, another one. Look, you going
I have
viral.
done everything I can.
You
I've
going viral,
I've asked
shawty.
every company.
You going viral, shawty. You going viral. Look at you. Look, you turning red, baby. Look at you. You turning like an apple right now. Let it go. Frozen. Let it go, baby. Elsa, let it go.
Episode 14, No Hipsters Pod. Is your host, Francé, the founder of NoHipstersAllowed.com. And this week, our co-host is author and filmmaker Doreen Caven.
Hey!
Welcome back.
I'm glad. I'm happy to be back. This is really exciting.
Yes. And since the last time you were here, you now are officially an author.
Thank you.
So congrats on that.
Thank you so much. It's been a really exciting week. I actually launched my book of affirmations last week, Monday. Really exciting stuff. Really, really wonderful feedback. So much great support from friends and family and everyone else, actually, that I don't even know. It's been like really validating.
Let's get to the topics. It's actually interesting that you're back today because Russell Simmons is back in the headlines. And the last time you were here, we talked about him. And so earlier today, there was a clip from an upcoming episode of Drink Champs, which is Nori's podcast. And he has a panel on, they're talking about Black Lives Matter and related issues. And so it's like, you know, Mark Lamont Hill and Bun B and a few other people. And it also includes Russell Simmons. And so, the clip was, you know, promoted online. And there was uproar. A variety of people were speaking out against it, including Salai Abrams, one of his accusers. And what she said was, and I quote, "What in the entire hell are Jay-Z and Tidal doing by giving Russell Simmons a platform to discuss Black Lives Matter? Why do people continue to give him a pass? Mark Lamont Hill, did you ask him about the multiple rape allegations against him? There is absolutely an underground movement by powerful Black men in music to help Russell avoid accountability and whitewash his legacy." So she's including Puffy and Jay-Z as, you know, accusing them of providing him a platform to help, you know, rehabilitate his image and help the allegations go away. And first, I want to hear your take on that. And then secondly, I actually want to know what you think about the documentary. But first of all, let's just talk about what your opinion is on him being on this panel.
I mean, I completely support Salai. I am 100% disappointed but not surprised by the reaction of powerful Black men to this powerful Black guy that they obviously all look up to. I did not expect any of them to interrupt anything that he was doing or speak against him. It's really like a cultural thing anyway for, you know, Black men, especially in hip hop, to not check each other. They do whatever the hell they want to do, but they're extremely loud when it's time to check women, which we will obviously discuss. But like, I'm not surprised by any of this happening. I'm not surprised by them trying to make sure that he's protected in this way. It's kind of the culture of hip hop, like I just said. It's the culture of the Black male community. So, you know, it's disappointing that this is happening, but I don't know. I'm really glad that Salai is yelling about it. And I'm so happy that a lot of us are, you know, we're paying attention enough to amplify her voice, and that Mark Lamont Hill was even, you know, realized his mistake, or I guess he said, he also tweeted in response to that,
right,
saying that he had no idea that Russell was going to be showing up on the panel, you know, but I also,
you know, I feel like
perspective as Russell being, you know, this big Def Jam guy that was probably instrumental in some ways in Puffy and Jay-Z's career, and this whole respect, and like if he calls in like, oh, I want to call in and talk about this situation, I don't think any of them will have the literal balls to be able to tell him no.
Right.
And I just think that that's literally the situation that's happening. Like Russell is trying to put his voice there, but he doesn't understand that this is a completely new time in society where women's voice actually do matter, and a time where there is accountability. And you know, I really feel like this is you could tell that he's such an arrogant guy to think that people are not going to check him for trying to be a voice in this moment. Mr. Rich,
Right.
Hollywood man. Like, excuse me.
Right.
I really hold a lot of disdain for him.
Right.
I really hold a lot of disdain for how he dealt with his charges, with him like leaving the country and thinking that he can be above judgment. So I really I'm really holding back on I'm trying to make this a very nice, easy episode.
No,
But yeah,
no.
those are my thoughts on that.
No. Listen, tell us how you really feel. But first of all, I want to say good on Malcolm Hill, but I also feel like he was shamed into doing that. I'm not so sure that he would have released that statement if people weren't calling him out so quickly and so forcefully. But also, I think it's remarkably tone deaf on Diddy's part, on whoever. I guess Drink Champs is no longer. I'm not sure if it's still on Revolt. It used to be on Revolt, but this was a title promo, so it's tone deaf on everyone's part for allowing him to be there. And I'm just not really sure what would need to happen for people to know that they should back up from someone, because I think 20 women that's not a small number. Even though you could say that some of them might be lying or want to think that some of them are lying. 20 women accusing you of similar things.
I think that if there are 20 women, there are really 80 women.
Right.
It's not that there are the more women lying, is that there are more women keeping quiet out of fear of the consequences.
I want to talk about On the Record, which is a documentary that features Sly Abrams, but also Drew Dixon, a former exec at Def Jam and also, I believe, Arista Records. So in the documentary, she accuses him of raping her, and after which she leaves Def Jam and then goes to Arista. And after a few years, apparently he was making inappropriate advances, being harassed by L.A. Reid, and she was essentially, forced out of the industry. So according to her, she had Kanye before he was signed and was trying to get him a record deal, and L.A. Reid essentially passed on Kanye as a way of punishing her, and he also passed on John Legend. And so as I watched that documentary the whole time, thinking, wow, it's crazy to see just how careers suffer in very, very permanent ways because of men like L.A. Reid.
Sexual violence.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And so
not even just men like L.A. Reid, it's also men like Russell,
right,
where people have to leave the jobs that they are in,
right,
because of their being sexually harassed. This is not something that this is stories that I've heard from my own family. This is stories I've heard from my aunties who had to leave jobs because of their bosses would not stop disturbing them. This is women that had trajectory and had places to go. Who knows where Drew Dixon would have been if she was able to do her job, the way that anybody else could have.
Right.
Like, women are many times not given the space to get to the positions they're supposed to get to because they have to pass this invisible sex toll from men above them. And we come from a country, Nigeria, where that is ridiculously rampant.
Yes.
So
the stories are a million times worse.
Told me stories. Everybody has told me stories, and I can very well imagine. I think that even with the Me Too movement, a lot of surprise and shock came from the fact that women who were speaking up about their stories were women who had very successful careers, and just like Drew Dixon, she was an A&R executive.
Right.
And you would expect that there would be some respect given to the positions that these women occupy, but no. The men who are still above them create this environment where it becomes like, if you want to climb up, you have to go through me.
Right.
And that is just, I have a lot of thoughts about
literally
the male leadership, like where there's a dominant male leadership in anywhere, like in hip hop, in Congress, anywhere, wherever there is a dominant male leadership, those things are happening. Because that culture, it is allowed. It is allowed. It's part of it. And that culture also looks at women who get to those positions. And you hear that those women who get to those positions or had to have done something to get there, because they all know that they create that environment. And not as if some of the women might not have done anything to get there, but that idea is always there. She's only here because of this, because they know goddamn well that they are creating that environment for people in smaller positions trying to get up.
Right.
Like, it's just, for me, I was very frustrated watching that On the Record, because Drew Dixon is freaking amazing.
Right. She's super smart, and
her talent. Insightful
Yeah, and mind you,
viewpoint. Like, and
this is like a woman who was or I guess is the daughter of a former mayor. So this is a privileged girl. So for a privileged
exactly.
girl to be victimized in that way, it makes you wonder what will happen to a woman who isn't as privileged. You know,
Exactly, and those are the stories that we're not hearing. Those are the women that we, have not come up to say
right?
anything because she met Russell from a privileged position, not privileged like that, but like able to like meet him directly when he was already Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons has been coming up for a long time. There are a lot of women that he had to work with on his way to wherever when she finally did meet him. Those women all have stories too, and they're all just quiet, and that's just what we have to
Right.
understand. Because he had more to lose at this point, but he was still willing to risk it, you know. So and so, what did he do when he had less to lose? And as we speak at this moment, if you even bother to watch the Jerry Epstein
I
documentary,
actually did watch Filthy Rich, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, first of all, let's just say, let me sprinkle allegedly over all of this, since none of these people have become.
Oh, so you don't get
right. But but these men are allegedly horrible, and Jeffrey Epstein was a real life monster. I mean, they all are if they did what they're being accused of. But Jeffrey Epstein is really special. Like, that was super creepy, and each episode was like, wow. Like, it was literally he had literal sex dungeons. It's really, really scary.
But I do not look past any. I feel like anybody who's capable of raping anybody is capable of being just as filthy. To me, I don't see any difference in their level of filth. I see that. I don't know. We don't know the full story of Russell or any of these guys because enough of their victims haven't come out and spoken as much as they will eventually. Like, more stories are going to come out about Russell. Watch and see, for sure. So, like, yeah.
And so it's funny. So you and I were talking earlier, and you said that that the documentary was being suppressed, and I'm inclined to agree because I never knew that it was available. I knew it premiered at Sundance, but I didn't know that it was available for people to watch until you mentioned it earlier today. And so I'm wondering if is anyone suppressing it, or was this just a product of the fact that Oprah pulled out, and Oprah pulled out over concerns about consistency? Because if you remember, actually the last time you were here we spoke about this. Oprah said that she thought that there were inconsistencies with one of the accuser's stories, and that's why she pulled her her support and was no longer the executive producer. And so first I'm wondering whose story she was referring to, but also the only questions I had as I watched was that Drew says that she was mulling over and I wasn't sure about whether or not she wanted to come forward. But it also says that she started filming like as early as December 2017, which was just 2 months after Harvey Weinstein. Some of the things that were being said didn't match up. So it made me wonder if Oprah was referring to Drew. And also, I mean, I don't need any of this to think that she's credible, but that was the only thing that jumped out at me as the timeline isn't quite matching what she's saying.
I don't know. I can't speak to this, anybody's reasoning for when they start recording anything, but I don't see it as so.
It's not a damage. I don't think it's a disqualifying.
Yeah, I don't see anything that shocking to me if anybody starts to record anything when they have the intention or when they feel like they should start, like gathering their story together, even if they're mulling about bringing out the story or not. Like, it's not so crazy to me that anyone would say like, I'm going to start preparing, talking about the situation, but I'm not sure if I'm going to release it. Because people do that. People write letters. People write down like things that happen to them, and then takes them years for them to finally publish it online or something like that. So I don't really see that as anything, to be honest. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. So and like I said, I do know. Like, I mean, I've heard from people. Yes, it's all alleged, but people that are credible, like, I have said it enough times anyway, where I've been in the fashion industry, about how this guy just is inappropriate. He's inappropriate. He gropes people. He just and the stories fit in, and even the physical build and the look of the people who've spoken about it are very similar to Scylla Abrams, Drew Dixon, and like the other accuser. I'm sorry,
Jenny
I forget her name.
Lumet, I think.
It's like, even his actions of like leaving the country is like, these are all like
actions that make
quite,
you go,
yeah, like there's no, it's not like I'm not even. Anyway. Since you don't want to get sued on your podcast, we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. And all I'm going to do in the meantime is just amplify the voices of these women and their stories, because I'm actually 100% sick of it. And like I said, I have been waiting for so long for the Me Too hip hop to happen, and I've been waiting for so long. Because you say for all these
because you said that you've been told stories from people you know personally over a decade ago. Is what you said, correct?
I've been told stories from a very long time ago about like who specifically
about Russell.
Like Russell. I've just heard. I don't know if I said over a decade ago, but for a while, like I don't know this specific language, but I have heard like before this whole thing even came out. You know, I was told that he's very creepy and he's just this kind of way. I feel like they described Russell in such a way on the record that I was able to kind of like see him differently from what I had seen him as, like all the while. And, sometimes you just look at somebody and you look at the things that they have been able to achieve for their community and for other people, and they have been able to bring people on. But that doesn't remove the fact that they are who they are. And I'm so tired of society asking people to focus on the fact that somebody is good at their job. To tell me that makes me or anyone we should all ignore the negative harm they cause to people. I don't care if you're good at your job. I don't care if your job was able to give you money. I don't care if you are a good father to your kids. All I care about is the fact that you harmed someone and think you should get away with it. You shouldn't. You should be punished for it. And it's that, because this guys get off, and I'm just watching Epstein's Filthy Rich documentary, and Russell's on the record, and just reading a whole bunch of stuff. It's just so obvious, like these guys just get off and get their power from breaking women like that. They break these women, take something from them and use it to empower themselves, and they don't care because they think that they're invincible. It's like a drug. And they and it's just a power thing that you just see in every freaking avenue where there are a bunch of men who are powerful. They protect each other, and the women are made to look like demons for trying to speak up about it. So fuck all of them, fuck everybody, and I just can't wait for everything to burn. I've just been waiting for it for so long, and it's coming. I can feel it. It's coming.
Let's talk about the recent online squabble between Noname and J. Cole. Now,
yes,
I don't know if you saw it, but around when the protests started, a few days after the George Floyd murder, Noname tweeted something about certain rappers, having all their songs to be about the struggle, but yet are silent at a time when it really, when the world is going up and they should be speaking up the most. And everyone assumed that she was referring to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Now, I want to start by saying I'm not a big fan of people forcing people to speak out. I think that you should speak only if you feel like you have to, and that if you're only doing so just because you think people might say something, then it's no longer sincere, and you might as well just not. So I think that speaking out should always be, because you really feel like you have to. So, I don't know. I don't agree about the calling out. But she does make a valid point, but I don't agree with it. Now, and also J. Cole actually was at a protest, which is why, so not everyone is going to like tweet. Some people will just go to a protest as opposed to tweeting. Some people are donating quietly, and so that's why I am not a fan of forcing people into public statements or judging people because of a lack of a public statement. That being said, J. Cole, put his foot in his mouth by responding with a song and really just kind of exposing himself for what I've always known he is. And so there's this line in the song that goes, "It's something about that queen's tone that's bothering me," which I think is hilarious. Because it's pseudo respectful, calling her a queen, but still being sexist at the same time. And I think that, for a lot of people, it was an eye opener about J. Cole and who he really is. Because I've always just thought that he's a bit of a fraud. I don't think he's that. I think he's a stupid person's idea of a smart person. And so, I think a lot of people on the internet think that, you're only smart when you're earthy and subdued in your presentation. And and anyone who's flashy or glamorous is automatically not intelligent, which is just right.
Yes,
so,
of course.
Right. Exactly. And also, I also think there's a bit of sexism, kind of folded into that assessment of intelligence, in the sense that they do that to women all the time. Like, the girl who dresses up is automatically stupid. So that was my whole thing. But, it was funny to see J. Cole get dragged the whole week. And for something that could have totally been avoided, like if he just didn't respond, he'd be fine. But clearly, he had to expose himself. So what did you think about that whole thing?
Well, so this is what I feel. I feel like in the height of how everyone felt in the weeks that have passed, Noname asking rappers to speak up now is something that she had every right to do as a human being. Anybody can have that right to. I don't think there's a right or wrong in telling people to speak up. I believe that we're asking companies to speak up. We're asking everybody to speak up. We're asking them to use their platform, not because we're forcing anybody to do it. You have the choice to ignore. She didn't call anybody specifically. It's just that you have this platform and you have a bunch of people following you. And if you do say something, the people who are following you can hear it. Which when you have a big platform, you see the importance of actually also joining your voice to whatever is happening. You see the importance of pushing the message to as well. And yes, you want the message that they push to be genuine from the heart or whatever. But at the same time, you're going to try your luck anyway. You're going to be like, okay, we need more people on ground. The more of us speak up, the more people are inclined to also speak up. So she putting out that message without it being directed towards Kendrick or whatever, because most of these rappers, regardless of even the ones that do trap, sometimes talk about the struggle. Everybody kind of speaks about the struggle. So it's a whole bunch of them that use the struggle aesthetic as part of their branding and their marketing. It's not so specific. My mind, when she said that, because I follow her, my mind saw it as she was just talking to rappers. And I was like, yes, girl, speak up, because these people are being very, very weird. Yes, they might be donating money in this way, but there's a reason why they would rather donate money than even be public at all about it, because they don't want to alienate certain people in their that follow them. Like, I have a platform that has both a lot of non-Africans on it or non-Black people on it, and of course I'm going to be and then you think you're going to be saying messages that strongly say white people, you're strongly saying messages that say this thing, and you're going to alienate these people. And the choice is, do you want to alienate them or not, or is the message more important? The message is more important, because at this point, if you don't want to hear this shit, why the fuck are you following me in the first place? So I'd rather say the message and lose those people. And that's just the challenge that she was given to these people. And they know goddamn well that if they're people that don't post on social media at all, they don't have to ever speak. But we're talking about the people who do use their social media, who are using it to promote here and there, but want to be silent and only, donate money slightly at the back. It's fake. It's fake. So it's fake, because you make money off of people with your music. You want people to dance to left foot up, left foot slide. But then when it comes to you actually saying something tangible, you're nowhere to be found. I'm sorry. It's an expectation. There's nothing wrong with having an expectation of people who benefit off of Black culture, even if they're Black themselves, to speak up. There's an expectation. If Beyonce's quiet ass can be more active in the last months than she has been in ages, then everybody should be as active, because everybody else is more active than she is in terms of using social media. She even put the camera in her face. That she doesn't know how to do it like that. She's not into that. That's not her thing at all. So still that she was confused about what she was. Do I stop it here? Or do I start?
Wait. I get what you're saying, but
like,
I
come
do
on,
think
man.
though that
So
I find it hard to believe that Kendrick or J. Cole would think that they're alienating any of their followers just because their music is so quote unquote conscious. So I don't know. I feel like I think that
yeah.
might be a bit
No, but
right.
that doesn't have
It
to
was a
go
call out.
towards them. It was just a call out. You're doing the thing where you're just putting it on Kendrick and Cole. When I'm telling you that I read that message and my mind
Right.
would think that, oh, she's talking to Kendrick and Cole. Hell, like there's so many rappers that use that thing in their show. Literally all the rappers do. What is it? Why are people being so ridiculously specific here?
Right.
Like she was talking about all of them. Like anyone that has been silent, let's do something.
Right.
Our voices are loud.
Yeah, I guess it was.
You know, let's all do it. You know, it doesn't even. She didn't even say.
She just said so. Some of y'all who all your music's about the struggle, but are silent now. And I guess maybe it was a case of hit dogs holler because I really don't know why J. Cole felt the need, especially because he was at a protest.
Yes.
But
exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, my mind didn't go to J. Cole because we had all seen him. Everybody had trended on how he was there. He was a real dude. Myron had showed me excitedly. Oh, look at because I'd been saying I had been saying exactly what Noname was saying, that these people are all quiet as hell, and it shows. And he was like, "Oh, look, Cole was one of the few." So trust me, her mind wasn't even on Cole. Like everyone just doing their own thing, and then he had to come like Voltron, nigga, and to fight for the rights of the rest of the black men in hip hop, and it's just like why?
So
are you serious here? Are you really?
In summary, J. Cole played himself. Right, so yeah, none.
There was no need. But I feel like it was important. I'm let me tell you, I've been very happy with everything that has been happening in the fashion that it has been happening. It's like the world is just revealing itself. And I think that I think that J. Cole showed what black women are always talking about. That black men are always quick to leap forward to protect each other. And again, I'm happy that Diddy and Jay-Z did this title thing. I'm happy that we keep seeing examples over and over again of how black men do not protect black women, but are very quick to protect black men. So I think that this is all wonderful to me. Like, I'm loving it because we need this. We need examples to prove why what we're saying is true. We're not just making noise out here. We're saying legit things, So it's. I think this is all meant to happen. I'm enjoying it.
Of course. This past weekend, Beyoncé released a song called "Black Parade," which is so. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't crazy about it. But she also, more importantly, she released something called the Black Parade Route, which was a directory of Black-owned businesses. And I thought that was just a fantastic use of her platform. And she just it's just so amazing, great. And some of the businesses she put there, like some really, really small, Black-owned startups. And so I was just really impressed by her.
It was curated by her stylist Doreen Akers. I'm not sure about how to pronounce her last name, but I think very tasteful, pulled together amazing brands. It even included one of my friend's brands, nice. Nigerian girl in London. Yeah. So she pulled together really, really great resources. And I think that using her platform to promote their work like that, even giving them that validation. And I was even seeing the girl from Kai Collective, her work is so great, but her work has been like her new collection sold out. I don't know if it's Beyonce influence. It could just be her work because her work is amazing. So I just love that she gave people some boost that, and then she gave a song where the proceeds go towards mutual aid funds for help fund Black businesses. And, that's just the kind of energy. You don't need to talk too much. Just don't release any stupid song. Just use your actions to show your support. You know what I'm saying? Why are you feeling like...
Oh, my goodness.
Why are you feeling...
But yeah, it was good. She also included Anifa, which is, I guess her name, the girl's name is Anifa, but the brand is Hanifa. And she's actually local to the DMV area. Brand. So I thought that was really great that she was included as well. So it was a lot of great businesses included. Now, another thing that happened is that there was, no, I won't say an outcry, but a small murmurs of quote unquote intellectuals who took issue with Beyonce and her, Black Parade song, and were critical of her.
But they're always critical of her. There's never a time that Beyonce could like there's literally nothing that Beyonce hasn't done doing this from coronavirus time to now to whatever. She's done everything that she's supposed to do in her own way, like the way that works for her. She's tried. Even with the graduation, she, gave a speech for them for YouTube. She's just been trying to give back. She didn't even promote and Savage during that time because of the coronavirus. She didn't want to.
Yeah, and Savage went number one anyways. So
doing things quietly. Yeah, it did. And she didn't even do any promotion for it because she didn't want to be saying buy my record, even though all the proceeds to Savage went towards Bread of Life, like an organization that was helping COVID victims in Houston. She's so it's like, but still, no matter what, it's like, you just don't like her and it's fine, but you don't have to conceal your dislike.
There's always this
woke take. It's ridiculous. That's what I'm like. I'm so sick of the woke take, concealed dislike. We already know you don't like her. You've never liked her. So let's not even come and start looking for dictionary words to pretend like there's any other thing but you dislike. Like, it's boring and it's old. For these people that have...
of course, we know.
This is a topic I'm very passionate about. For these people that have so much to say about like Beyonce not opening her mouth, like not being in a space where she speaks for, the struggle or anything like that, because she's a rich woman or whatever, they sure have high expectations of her. Because it's like, you want her to be Michelle Obama about it when she does talk. But I'm like, she's Beyonce about it. She's going to do it her own way. She's going to express her own way. She's going to try to give joy her own way. She's going to try and do what she can her own way. But it's not good enough for you guys because you want her to do it like she's Maya Angelou or something. She's not Maya Angelou. You're the ones that keep saying she's not even brilliant or smart or whatever. And I'm like,
and you know what? And that goes directly back to the whole thing we're talking about with J. Cole about how people think intelligence looks one way.
Of course. I'm going to tell you my own personal life. Let me tell you something. Do you know how stupid people have thought I was my whole life? Do you know how stupid they think Joan is? Do you know how stupid they think my sisters are? Because we like fashion and glitter and all this stuff. Like, I went through, I've been through all the microaggressions from people just wanting so bad to assume that I'm stupid because I'm shiny. I cannot help the fact that I'm shiny, and I never will stop shining. But that don't mean I'm not smart as fuck.
And that's why your book is called Shine On.
So I completely understand the whole Beyonce situation. Shine on, don't even try and dim your life for anybody just because they're uncomfortable with how brightly you shine. Oh wow, you're actually smart. Duh. Right. Like, you mean, get the fuck out of here. So, I see the whole Beyonce thing. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to be Beyonce to the bullshit. If there's one person that is used to people thinking that she's less than what she really is, it's her. As much as she's rated highly, she's very much so underrated for how good of a producer she is with her music, how good she is with managing her company, how even amazingly she's managing Chloe and Hailey. Those girls are amazing. Based on her, they would love to discredit her, and I think that especially coming from Black women who know how easy it is for us to be discredited. I'm extremely disappointed in the actions. Beyonce, like anybody else, is subject to critique. Critique her interest in capitalism is great. I don't ever put my mouth there when they're talking about that. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Critique her relationship with Jay-Z. Go ahead. He is a misogynist. I wish he wasn't dating him. I hate that. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about the fact that, he met her when she was a young girl and they're in love and all this stuff. Fine. But those are fair things to critique. But something as ridiculous as her releasing a song like that is meant that I saw Black women feel very validated over and just happy. Her actions with Black Parade, her trying to speak up, her writing a letter to Breonna Taylor's
Attorney General,
to the district attorney, Attorney General. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, for Breonna Taylor. What are you critiquing? She's doing what she can in her own way, just like you're doing what you can in your own way, just like we are doing what we can in our own way. And you can't expect her to do it. What if she criticizes your own everyday life for the contributions you make? Because she can look at your contributions and think that they are paltry. Because you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous to expect her to move in any other way more than what she is doing. She's doing what she can, and we don't even know what she's doing behind the scenes. Because Beyonce has always been somebody that doesn't want to do stuff in front of the scenes. So it's just shut the fuck up and get over yourselves.
Winner and loser, Doreen, because you're our guest. Who are your winner and loser of the week?
First of all, my winner is me because I released a book last week. And it's called Shine On, and it's a book of affirmations, and it's a tool to help combat like self-doubt, to help you build your self-esteem, and to help you be your best authentic self. It's a great book. I released, sat down and curated some really good affirmations, wrote some words lovingly for everyone to read, and it does make you feel powerful. And I know this because I know I wrote it, but sometimes when I'm feeling really like low, I grab the book and I read some words out of it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it really, really hits your soul. And so, it was written with that intention, and I'm really proud of myself for doing it. I'm bringing it out in the middle of this pandemic. Yeah. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all to like push promotion through when you're so heartbroken over George Floyd, so heartbroken over Breonna Taylor, so heartbroken over Toye Salayu. There are days where I just have no desire. My publicist is like, Doreen, you have to. And I'm like, listen, sis. People are dying, Kim. Okay, people are dying, Kim.
There's people that are dying.
I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about here. But like the fact that I've been able to push through my promotion week, I'm just really proud of myself. So I'm going to call myself a winner for that. And for the losers, period, I'm going to say powerful men in the Black community. They have failed the community by continuing to protect each other from each other's bad behavior, from not interrupting, from not being great examples for the young Black men following them, for insisting on continuing to support pedophiles and to support rapists, and to be upset and loud only when Black women call them out. They are disappointments, and they don't give anything for anyone to look up to. So I call them the losers.
All right. So my winner of the week is Gary Chambers Jr. He is a school board member in the city of Baton Rouge in Louisiana. He went viral this week because they were taking a vote on renaming high school, Robert E. Lee High School. As you know, Robert E. Lee is a Confederate soldier. And while he was there and was about to give his speech, he found that another board member was shopping online.
I had intended to get up here and talk about how racist Robert E. Lee was, but I'm going to talk about you, Connie. Sitting over there shopping while we talking about Robert E. Lee. This is a picture of you shopping.
He dragged her so bad that she left the room. So Gary Chambers is my winner. Actually, according to Russ, I think they actually did vote to change the name of that school. So kudos to all the people in Baton Rouge. And then my loser, actually I have two losers this week. My first loser is Terry Crews, who just can't let the Black supremacy concept go.
I said was defeating white supremacy without white people could create Black supremacy.
And keeps embarrassing himself on Twitter and in interviews. So, I wish that he'd give it a rest. And my second loser will be Swiss Beats, because he was being an absolute hater this week. So he was on IG Live at Busta Rhymes, and I think Busta said that he had a song that he made with Drake that never got released for whatever reason.
We never worked it out so that we could put it out.
Why not?
It ended up just staying in the stash.
Why you ain't work it out?
I never knew what the reason was. It just never happened, and we didn't really get a chance to discuss it. But now that the record is leaked...
What you mean you ain't get a chance to discuss it?
Me and Drake never had to get a chance to discuss it because our line of communication to each other is not really...
That's not big pussy, boy.
I just thought it was just a weird thing to do for someone who is, as accomplished, as experienced, and just as old as he is. Why do this at this point in your career? You've been in the game for about 20 years. You're having this, resurgence of popularity through this really, positive thing that you're doing, and you're gonna sully that by being petty and just a hater. It was just I keep having to say that so much of the Drake hatred, it just feels like jealousy. And so, he's definitely the second loser of the week, and he needs to do better. That's our show. Doreen, thank you so much for stopping by. I have to admit, I don't have your book yet. I tried to buy it the day it was released, but the Kindle app on iPhones is really weird. So I'm going to try again, once I get off here.
Get the physical copy. So much easier to have by your side.
Right. You wrote the book with women in mind, but, I would definitely...
No, it's not for everyone. Okay. But yes, I did direct towards women.
before you leave, please plug your social media and let them know where they can find you and also where they can get your book.
You can find me on Twitter at Doreen GLM, on Instagram at Doreen Caven, or on my women's community at The Girls Like Me.
Episode 14, No Hipsters Pod. See you next time.